This is Theoretically Speaking on SiriusXM Progress, channel 127. And today I'm really excited to bring on my guest. You guys don't understand. Mona Scott Young is a multimedia maverick, an award-winning talent manager, as well as the CEO and founder of Mon Ami Entertainment and Mon Ami Productions. She's best known for shaping culture across music, television, and film. Most recently, she served as a producer on the new Lifetime film, Mary J. Blige Presents Be Happy, which is out now. Mona.
Hello.
How are you?
You know what? The way you pronounce the company name, I was like, oh yeah, that's my Haitian sister.
Yes.
You said Mon Ami. Mon Ami.
You know, I don't speak Creole.
You don't? But you understood the pronunciation.
Yes.
Because a lot of time people are like, Mon Ami. Or I'm like, just say my name. And then me. Mona, me.
I really wish I could speak Creole. It's just...
But you understand it.
I understand it.
Not fluently?
Not fluently. My
Girl.
dad... I know.
Okay,
my dad is not
you're-
Haitian.
Is it because your mom speaks English to you?
She always spoke English to me, and my dad actually was not okay.
Haitian.
Yeah, was not okay with us speaking another language around
Really?
him, which is so weird. But so that's why I didn't learn. And then the best time to learn is when you're a kid.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you don't care about how you sound. You can sound foolish. You're just gonna repeat it.
Get the dialect and the inflections and stuff. It's funny because my mother just speaks to me in Creole, and I've always responded in English, so I understand it fluently. And I always say, after the earthquake in Haiti, when I had to get boots on the ground and dig deep for that Creole, I was like, oh, why wasn't I paying attention? But I was able to make it happen and figure it out.
Yeah. Okay, so you were able to figure it out. So you're not fluent, but
well,
you can finesse it a bit.
I can under duress. It sounds like that's a little bit more than you.
Yeah. No, I can't. I can't do that. But I'm so happy to have you here. I'm so excited to talk about this new film. Yes. But I really wanted to dive into your story more. You are someone that has redefined what success has looked like in the entertainment space.
Oh, wow.
And so it's truly an honor to have you here.
Thank you so much. That's like massive. I appreciate that. Thank you.
So thank you for being here. So you went from being a talent manager, managing artists like Busta Rhymes, 50 Cent, Missy Elliott, to TV production, where you created one of the biggest reality TV show franchises.
I call it lightning in a bottle.
And, when I was doing research on you, I felt like a lot of your opportunities came from you being at the right place at the right time, but also you having a willingness to learn.
A willingness to learn and an open mind about it, right? A lot of times I'll say, oh my gosh, I was so lucky. And my husband will say to me, luck is great, but stop acting like you don't work 24/7.
Right.
You don't, dedicate and apply yourself to whatever you determine the next thing to be.
Right.
And sometimes I don't even know what the next thing is going to be, but I stay open, right? And we have to always kind of be aware of when the universe comes together and forms that portal, and keep an open mind about allowing ourselves to explore different parts of what we are capable of doing.
Yeah. And where does that come from, that open mind, that willingness to learn?
My mother, I always say that, and you probably experienced a lot of that growing up with a Haitian mother, just the work ethic and the, desire to succeed and to create, legacy. So for me, that was just always inherent. I had no choice. I watched my mother accomplish what she was able to accomplish with so much less than what I had at my disposal. And so I always knew that, I've got to constantly tap my full potential, right? Nothing less is an option. Right. And that's what, still excites me to this day. I have no idea what tomorrow's going to bring. I have no idea what else I can possibly do, but I'm excited to explore it.
I love that. Like I said, you got to work with some really big names in music. What was it like navigating those spaces as a Black woman in a male-dominated industry? And how did you learn to assert yourself?
It's that same sense of confidence in knowing who I am and knowing, even when I was figuring out what I wanted to do, I was doing it from a place of understanding my gifts, understanding what I have to offer any given situation. It just so happened to be music. It just turned out to be management, but it could have been absolutely anything. I always say if I had decided to take a job at McDonald's, I'd be running the place and then owning
I could
my
see
own
that
chain, right? So that same sense of self, that sense of confidence, my mother always instilling in me that absolutely anything was possible, just translated into, being in a space where as much as it was about the men that were doing it, I was clear about what I had to offer that they could not, right? My nurturing side. And it's about tapping everything about who we are as women, all of the things that, we're supposed to feel bad about and not bring to the table, our softness, our ability to really care on a level that allows us to take care of others, right? All of those things served me as I was moving in an industry that was just not designed for my success, but I managed to carve out a space for myself and to bring my unique self to the table. Nobody thinks the way I do. Nobody puts, things together the way I do. And I just leaned into all of that.
Love it. And so you had a successful career in the music industry. What made you walk away from something that was working?
The desire to do more and to continue to explore what I was capable of. There's only so much that you can do when the result is reliant on someone else getting up and someone else deciding they want to deliver on those services and someone else having maybe hopes and dreams that aren't as big as what you think they could be. So it was like, let me apply some of this thinking to myself and to the things that I want to do. And that's what led me, to striking out and starting Mon Ami Entertainment, because I did Violator for a very long time. And then I always wanted to approach it with this openness to whatever it is I wanted to do. I didn't want to be limited to any one thing.
Right.
And I think that that's what keeps it exciting for me. So, I can be producing a tour today. I can be producing a movie tomorrow. I can decide to take on another client, whether that be a music client or an acting client. I started producing tours, something that I'd never done before. But of course, I'd put my artists on tours, but never from soup to nuts. And that was, challenging but exhilarating time, because it was like, oh my gosh, everything and anything that Missy wants to conceptualize, I've got to figure out how to make happen. So I loved that challenge. I embraced that challenge. And every night when I walked out and I looked at the joy and people enjoying themselves, and then looked out on that stage and saw what our hard work, culminated in, that was an indescribable feeling.
And so back to TV. So was it something you always wanted to do? You just...
No. And I'm never going to, lie about that, because even music, I didn't want to do music. I wanted to explore what I'm capable of, and music was that at the time, and then TV became that, and touring became that, right? So it isn't about any one genre or any one space. It's really more about me and what I'm excited about at any given moment in time. Who knows what it'll be tomorrow? One day I came home and I said to my husband, because his mother made like the absolute best red velvet cake, and I love cooking and I love baking, so I inherited the recipe and I would make these red velvet cakes, and I was like, these really should be in stores. And so in order to get them into stores, I have to create a demand. To create the demand, I have to get them, in front of people, and people have to taste how good this red velvet cake is. How do I do that? And I came home one day and I was like, honey, I bought a restaurant. And that didn't last long, because he did not like getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. But again, that was just my openness, right, to figuring out a path to get that red velvet cake on the shelves.
Yeah. I need some more of that openness.
Listen, and I think that, that's the thing when people talk to me about like, how have you accomplished and how have you done? It's really been about one, understanding who I am. Right. So that's where it always has to start. Two, honoring who you are and whatever those gifts are that you've been given by honing them, right? Developing them, recognizing them, and applying them. And then being open about where you apply those skills. Some people have very clear, ideas of what they want to do with their life. And if that's what it is, then great. But if you are open and you are willing to just say, let's see what tomorrow brings. Let me figure out how to apply whatever my natural God-given skills are to that. It makes for a pretty exciting life. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely. So I want to talk about Love and Hip Hop a bit. So, when the first time I saw it, I thought to myself, wow, I have never seen anything like this on TV. How did this concept come about?
Oh, girl, that is a story I've told. It really was an evolution. It started around Jim Jones and Yandy, who was my protege, and fast forward is, a huge entrepreneur and TV star herself. But they had sold a concept to VH1 that they were, I guess, trying to figure out how to develop and what that show would be. And when I kind of left management and decided to focus on producing television, the worlds kind of came together, and it was about like, how can I come in and help make this show happen? And Love and Hip Hop really came about just as a result of not only the fact that female ensemble casts were becoming more popular, but it was based on a world that I knew really well. And I'd experienced some of the more outrageous things that happen in that world, because I always say, to all the people who say that this is fake, I dare anyone who has really been in the hip hop world to say, this is not the crazy stuff that happens. And really, it was just about pulling a curtain back on the world.
Yeah.
Yep. So, it was an evolution. It didn't start out where it ended up, but I think people were fascinated and wanted to know more. And these women came in and were so open and allowed themselves to be vulnerable and shared and bared their lives, in a way that we hadn't seen before on television.
Right. And, some of the biggest names were on this show in hip hop. Joe Budden, Jim Jones helped launch the career of Cardi B. With the show's success, it also came a lot of backlash. How did you define success being in the middle of both of those things?
Well, one, the backlash and the criticisms were opinions, right, that people had. And if we allow ourselves to be, and our lives to be dictated by other people's opinions, we're done.
Right.
So for me, it was really looking at the impact that it had on the lives of the people who, were a part of the show, both on camera, behind the scenes, the number of producers, of Black females who had an opportunity to, work behind the scenes on a television show. And also what we watched the cast members do with their own aspirations and dreams, right? Not only providing a financial ability to do that, but also a pathway to accomplishing those things because of the visibility that it gave them. So, everything has its good and its bad side, right? Everything is kind of in life. You have to take the bad with the good, but if you are clear about what your intentions are and you stay true to that, I don't think you can allow what people's opinions about, anything that you do. I don't think you can let that dictate how you go about living your life.
You can't. If you're just joining me, I am Thea, and this is Theoretically Speaking, and I'm here with multimedia maverick Mona Scott Young. So, okay, you recently produced Mary J. Blige's new film for Lifetime, and how did you get involved with this?
Well, I've been doing scripted for some time. I have a couple of projects, The Lost Holiday, B-Boy Blues, that are out on streamers now. But we continue to develop in the scripted space. And shout out to the team at Mona Me, Stephanie Gale, Michael Chin, and also we have some fantastic partners in a company called Ace. And we came together and decided that we really wanted to focus on building out our scripted slate. So Be Happy was just one of the projects that we were doing, that we were developing for Lifetime specifically. And when we had the opportunity to come together with Mary J. Blige and work with her production company, she had just re-upped her deal. This movie is the first in her new series. The fit was natural for us because Mary and I, we have a connection, a relationship through music. And this was a story that is about a relationship, and nobody tells the story of relationship better than Mary J. Blige. So, all around the union was great. And for us, the the ability and the opportunity to physically produce the show was an important one for the evolution of, Mona and me and our company. So this is what we hope is the first of many projects with Lifetime. But yeah. That's how
exciting.
It kind of came together.
And it's a star-studded cast.
Yes.
Tisha Campbell.
It's a dream cast. Tisha Campbell and Mekhi Phifer, who, we all love from the 90s. These are our icons, and to see them together on the screen. Russell Hornsby, who is an incredible actor, and Gabourey Sidibe, who this is her directorial debut.
Oh, wow.
And she did a fantastic job directing this very seasoned cast,
right.
A story that is way beyond her years, right? And so I think people are really going to enjoy the movie. I can't wait to, continue to hear the reactions.
Yeah. Can you give us a little synopsis?
Sure. I mean, Tisha Campbell plays a character by the name of Val, who is an empty nester, and she's been married to her husband, Russell Hornsby plays her husband, Ross, and they've been married for a very long time, and now should be at a point in their lives when they're rediscovering each other and running around the house naked, as we all aspire to do when the kids finally leave the nest. And they've fallen into a rut. And so she goes off to spend time with her daughter, who is giving birth in New Orleans. And we all know what a colorful city New Orleans is. And there she rediscovers herself and her passions.
Wow. What message do you want people to take away from the film?
I mean, I think it's the message that I've, talked about even as it relates to my own life, right? We've got to find our happy place. We've got to figure out what makes us happy. And then we just have to be happy.
Yeah. I love that. And also, I love the other messages, it's never too late to reinvent yourself, right?
It's never too late to reinvent yourself. We should constantly be evolving and constantly be tapping into new pieces of us that, we have yet to discover.
Yeah. And before I let you go, I could talk to you forever.
Oh my God, thank you.
You have built a long-lasting career across multiple industries. How has your definition of success changed from where you started to where you are now?
The definition of success, I don't know that I've ever stopped to think about that outside of wanting to be able to earn a living doing what makes me happy, what I really want to do. And there were points in my career where that wasn't necessarily the case. And so success for me was taking that leap of faith, allowing myself to explore things, even if there was no clear path to how those things were going to be accomplished, right? But believing in myself and giving myself the grace to, have the experiences, learn from them, course correct, and just fully, go out there and explore what really fulfilled me. So for me, that's success, right? If we're doing anything short of that, then we've got to take another look.
Yeah. So the Lifetime movie is out now.
Yes.
What else you got going on?
Oh my goodness. So many things that we're working on. I'm looking to do some Broadway productions. When you talk about the people that I aspire to working with, Suzanne DePass is somebody that I've admired for so long, and I finally have an opportunity to work with her on a few projects. So that's very exciting. I'm working on a biopic now that for a female artist, a female music artist that I am excited about. It's a story that we have yet to see told. And continuing to put tours out. I had the opportunity to do that a couple of years ago, and then I've continued to build in that space. So Mona Me Touring is another new business venture that I'm really excited about. And I think, putting together a podcast. I say I think because it is an idea that we are in development on, but that's something I'm excited about as well.
That is very exciting.
Yes. Maybe you can be a guest.
Oh, I would love that. I would love that.
I'm thinking about calling it Empowered, the Empowered Podcast.
That's a nice title.
You like that?
Yeah.
Because I like to think that everything in my life is powered by my enthusiasm, my passion, my love for it. So it's powered by the letter M.
Okay. I'm going to be on the lookout for that. And Mona, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it. Go check out the new Lifetime film, Mary J. Blige Presents Be Happy. It is out now. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
This is Theoretically Speaking, and we will be right back.